People with a disability comprise one of the largest single groups of excluded and chronically poor in Malawi. They generally have lower education achievements, experience poor health, suffer widespread discrimination, and have fewer opportunities to escape poverty than those without a disability. Among these people with disabilities are the people with visual impairment. The 2010-2018 Africa Health Observatory report shows that Malawi has about 136,000 people with visual impairment. People with visual impairment live a different life that people without visual impairment cannot imagine. They are excluded from society participation, and the society exclusion makes people with visual impairment lose self-confidence. As a society of oneness, there is need to find and establish methods that are legitimate to incorporate people with disabilities, including those with visual impairment. Despite numerous calls for social inclusion by organizations and endeavors by government disability policies, Malawi is yet far behind in the implementation of the well-drafted disability policies. Good working environment for non-governmental organizations would be a relief to people with disabilities in Malawi. There are a good number of organizations and individuals that, when given warm collaboration, Malawi would improve lives and appreciate values of people with disabilities.
We looked at the meaning of government. We also looked at the levels of government. And we also looked at the branches of government. Not so.
Sight 2020 Direct is a UK-based charity headed by Dr. Andrew and Sale Waboso and has brought hope in learners with disabilities in Malawi. Looking at the need to instill hope and confidence in visually impaired learners in Malawi, Dr. Andrew, who is a professional ophthalmologist, has introduced blind football and goalball at Montfort Mainstream Demonstration in Nguludi. Blind football is a football for the blind and partially sighted which started out as a playground game for school children in special schools for the visually impaired. There are two versions of football for people with visual impairment. B1 classified. It is played only by totally or almost totally blind players. B2, B3, B4 and B5 classified game is played by players with some sight. The core game remains the same as sighted football. There are a few alterations to make football accessible to people with visual impairment. The blind football accommodates 5 players per team, including the goalkeeper. Ball bearings are placed inside the ball and make a noise when moving to allow players to locate the ball. Taking part in visually impaired football is a great way to be active and meet other people with visual impairments. Dr. Andrew explains the impact of blind football in schools.
We started in 2001, and because I'm an eye surgeon, we originally started this concept. Started with eye surgery. I went to visit my relative, and I noticed that his child, who was 10 at the time, could not see very well, and I knew something was wrong, and I went around the town trying to find something where I could measure his eye up to see if he needed glasses. I couldn't find the equipment. And so I thought, you know what, there's a complete lack of anything to do with visual rehabilitation. And so we started up this charity called Sight 2020 Direct. And now we're involved also in blind football, blind sport, to try and enhance children's well-being, the children who've lost vision. Yes, one of the big objectives is to deliver blind football in Malawi. We would like to see a situation where all the schools in Malawi that teach children who have visual disabilities are involved in blind football. And so we can have an annual event and sports day in the national stadium where blind children who have visual disabilities can be celebrated for what they've achieved. This is the first time Malawi has seen blind football, and hopefully it's now on the map. The motive really behind it is to enhance the well-being of children and all people who have visual disability through sports, especially the girls, because the girls in particular are just left to one corner and they don't get any physical exercise, they don't get any challenges at all. And actually they're the ones that enjoy blind football even more than the boys, and blind sports, goal ball, they enjoy running around, they enjoy exercise. The other thing it does is it enhances integration of children with disabilities with children who are normal. Because for the first time, children who are normal can see that actually these children, apart from their sight, like football, they can play football, they score goals, and they can enjoy themselves as much as anybody else. So it's an amazing experience to watch, to participate in, and a privilege to be able to participate with the various schools in Malawi to deliver a curriculum of sport for blind children across the nation.
Sight 2020 Direct Charity established the blind football at Montfort Demonstration School as a pilot school. The organization aims at spreading the sport to other schools in Malawi. The head teacher of special needs at the school, Clement Kaleso, describes blind football as a social inclusion for learners with visual impairment at the school.
Lephera kuchita masewera zothamanga kayazamipira ndi ana athu amene ali kukola kuona chifukwa chakuti tinalibe zipangizo, koma kubwera kwa iwo akhala kuti pasapo zipangizo zosewerera ndi ana amene wawo, monga ngati mipira imene imakhala ndi zolira mkati kuti ana aja azisokera sound, komanso mwina mayunifomu amene osewerera pamene akuita masewero amene wawo a sports. Nkhani ya masewero kwa ana amene wandiyofunikira chifukwa chokuti tikuziwa kuti masewero amathandiza kulimbikitsa thupi. Pamene ana amene wakuita masewero amenewa ndiye kuti thupi lawo likulimba komanso akuchotsa matenda m'thupi mwawo, komanso zikuwapatsa chilimbikitso mumtima mwawo kuti atha kuchita zinthu zimene anthu ena ake amachita, ndiye kuti akukopeka kuti azikonda sukulu kwambiri. Ndi kwa ifeyo ndi zinthu zabwino. Poyambirira tinali ndi mavuto kuti timasowa zipangizo zosewerera ndi ana amenewa, monga ngati mipira yawo yolira yokhala ndi zolira mkati tinalibe. Kuthokoza tiyenera kuwathokoza anzathu amenewa chifukwa chakuti ntchito imene akutigwirira ndi yayikulu kwambiri.
One of the learners participating in the blind football at Montfort Demonstration School is Florence, who agrees with her teacher, saying that the introduction of blind football at her school has proved that living with a disability is not being inability.
Akamati basa malizapo ngati kuponya mpira ndiye kuti zilimbikira kaya pali ngati kuthamanga pali mmodzi nzathu yemwe apita ku Botswana kufacha masewero othamanga, ndiye kuti tikamalimbikira blind football ndiye kuti pasapezeka mmodzi okuti nayenso azapita ngati komweko ku Botswana ngati ku Uganda, ndiye kuti anthu azipezapo mwayo azilimbikitsika kuti azitithandizabe.
According to United Nations 2011, sports changes the person with disability in an equally profound way by empowering persons with disabilities to realize their full potential and advocate for change in society. Through blind football, like any other sport, persons with disabilities acquire important social skills. They develop self-independence and become empowered to act as agents of change. Blind football teaches individuals to communicate effectively, develop teamwork and cooperation, and respect for others. Sport is also well suited at reducing dependence and developing greater independence by helping persons with disabilities to become physically and mentally stronger. These skills can be transferred into other new arenas, including employment and advocacy work, which further helps to build self-sufficiency. Since blind football was introduced at Montfort Demonstration Primary School in 2016, it has created self-confidence in learners and opened opportunities for them. Karen Kamoa is a 19-year-old and is in Standard 6. After gaining self-esteem by participating in blind football as a partial sighted player, he joined a Paralympic competition. Karen was selected for International Paralympic competition held in Botswana in December 2018. He was selected in a group of both with disabilities and those without disabilities players.
Chachika kuti anaona ndi mene skill mene kuchitira position yanga ndaranga kunitenga ineyo basi tizikapanga training konzekera kudesona nachimva kukoma ndito alikola ngati chinthu chanitengwa patali chinthu chanitengwa bwino kwambiri fana nditi kukumbukira ma wireless amalengeza kumanaza Paralympic committee kuti anthu ena kuina alauza kuti azipyanga amene nikuchita inemu kuti inaso pina nthawi zinasakusankidwa yeye ngola kuti asasekele manyumba chifukwa alese ndikothekera kuti atha kuphunzira school maplana anga ndoti basi kupita kumeko kuti ndikachite bwino.
Social welfare of learners with disabilities is another big challenge in most of schools for learners with disabilities in Malawi. Montfort Demonstration School accommodates both learners with visual impairment and albinism. Upon listening to concerns from the school management on security threats, Site 2020 Direct Charity has constructed a 9 million Malawi kwacha wall fence around hostels for the learners with disabilities at the school. Sale Pama Feiwa Boso, who is an occupational therapist, is the international coordinator of the Site 2020 Direct Charity and explains the construction of the wall fence at the school.
Okay, so we would like to work with the teams on the ground. So it was identified by the head teacher that there's quite a lot of children in this learning center who are albinos. And with the plight of the albinos at the moment, they're being hunted down for body parts, as we all know. And the head teacher had raised the awareness that they felt that these children were being targeted because there are so many of them in one setting. So because of that, we decided that we needed to help. So we engaged in a fundraising campaign in the UK, and as a result, we've been able to build this wall. It's been really a joint effort by a lot of well-wishers, usually individuals who've made donations, and because of that, we've been able to build this wall. The projects to support the learners here continue. Again, we work collaboratively with the people on the ground, so the head teacher and the team have identified other challenges that they have. For example, these young learners do not have toilets. So the next project will be for us to build for them pit latrines within this compound of this brick wall fence, because at the moment the learners are having to leave their hostel in the night to go to the school, which is where they have the toilets. So it beats the objective of having a fenced environment for them, for their safety.
Dr. Andrew has toured Malawi from north to the south for almost 10 years now and has learnt more about Malawi and people with disabilities in the country.
Well, Malawi is an interesting country, warm heart of Africa, is very friendly. The people mean well, but I think that they should set their heights much higher than they are at the moment. I always tell people, Malawi may be one of the poorest countries in the world, but actually it is not a poor country. This is a country where you pick up maize seed and throw on the ground. In 3 days, 4 days, it's starting to grow. How can that be a poor country? I find that very difficult to understand. The people are brilliant, they are talented, and I always hold the view that Malawians are rich people and they have to rise to the occasion and stop relying on external donation all the time. We need to look within ourselves for the solutions, because we have the solutions here in Malawi. I think Malawi has a long way to go to promote equality, to promote diversity and inclusion. We've got to fight for these albino children in particular. Something must be done to stamp this out. I'm glad the President has taken note, and he's enacted legislation, and he's been very vocal about the albino children, and we need to support him by promoting this kind of activity which enhances the welfare of disabled, visually disabled children and albinos in particular.
The United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities says that by improving the inclusion and well-being of persons with disabilities through sports, therefore, sports activities such as blind football can help to advance the Millennium Development Goals (MDGs). Sports-based opportunities can help achieve the MDG 2 of universal primary education by reducing stigma that prevents children with disabilities from attending school. Sports promote gender equality, the MDG 3, by empowering women and girls with disabilities to acquire health information, skills, social networks, and leadership skills. Establishment of sports initiatives like blind football increases employment opportunities and lowers levels of poverty and hunger, the MDG 1. Let's join hands with Site 2020 Direct Charity to reduce stigma and increase self-confidence in learners and people with visual impairment and other forms of disabilities.